All right, welcome everybody back to the Wednesday Proud Masculine live stream. Thank you everybody for coming in. Running a few minutes behind, tying up some loose ends here. Let me get this YouTube thing going. Remember to hit that like on your way in. I barely get any likes. It's like the easiest thing you can do to contribute. And mentioning contributions, I'm soon to be installing a donation button that I'll put in the description of every video where you can help support the channel. I see we got DT in the house already. Good to have you back, DT. I'm going to be installing a donation button, whereas you come across my content in your live streams or you ask a question, feel free to donate something. Donate something to the value which you found equal that you received from me. And that will be greatly appreciated, and it will help me focus on building the channel, keeping the content coming, because this stuff takes time. Believe you me. Time, among other things, to keep this content pumping out. And I'd really like to focus more on putting more content out. But as y'all know, and anybody who knows me well knows, I have a lot of things going on every day in my life. I work every day. I'm a hard-working man, building a business. It's important. You know, I found a sense of purpose in more than just one thing, more than just coming here and spread the message of men building each other up, building strong communities and tribes amongst strong-willed, fully integrated, masculine-minded, masculine-hearted men, and building these communities. The purpose of me doing this is to help men one at a time or a group at a time. That's why I'm putting the Patreon together, to develop a group. We'll have these group Zoom meetings. But through this, not only do you take what I have to offer and put it in practice in your lives, you get to exchange with each other. And that's how you form these relationships. And it's real important in life to have strong male relationships. And that's way undervalued, and it's certainly not talked about enough because, honestly, with the system, what society doesn't want to see is a group of strong, successful men who've bonded together. Because within that circle comes critical thinking. And with critical thinking becomes questioning the mainstream, questioning the norm. Because there's things that, even though we may veer off of a path and veer off purpose, and we live by this, we're indoctrinated to live according to society and the ideas of government and education, which is all bullshit. It's not in alignment with who you are truly in your core as a masculine man. And I know from experience, and I know scores of other men who've lived with that inner voice saying something's off, something's not right, something doesn't. And as you get older, you mature, you start looking more into things and you start firing off that critical thinking, because you'll have certain things that'll happen certain ways. People call them coincidences. I call them divine intervention, where it makes you think, it makes you question something. Like, wait a minute, I was told X was the way to get Y, and I accident did Z, and I still got Y. So who's telling the truth? I've tried X for so long, it's never worked. It's always seemed so far out of reach. I do Z, I get Y. So which way is the truth? Then you start to rely on yourself and your inner voice and your instinct and intuition a little more, and it compounds. It's like a snowball effect. Anyway, not meaning to get off on that rant. So coming up, I mentioned the Patreon, and still putting that together. It's coming. I would really like to see more people in the streams consistently to put that together to build, but I'm really not going to wait. I don't care if it's just 2 people. We'll do 3 of us talking, and y'all, the 2 people will get the most attention. It'll be a fun hour, 2 hours, twice a month where, you get to ask questions, I get to answer, and we get to track progress and to see how things are coming together and put together a formula and an action plan. And, again, you get to start building that relationship with somebody else. Because look, it's digital, the world's digital, society is remote. And thank you, Chevy. Thank you for being so supportive. Chevy's been on my page for a long time. He's been a staunch supporter of mine for a very long time. And that means the world to me. Because truth is, I could get on here every day. If I don't have people looking and people watching and people actually reading the stuff and applying it and listening to the videos and applying it, it's no good. It's like a fart in the breeze. And it's not. And I love to see people who've come in, watched the content, or made scheduled consultations, and actually implement the stuff into their lives and get to see and experience the change. That's what it's all about. And I've seen it. And I'm telling you, there's no better feeling than to see someone who's come to me flat on their backs with their teeth kicked in and their heart ripped out of their chest, just in terrible shape. And seeing, and hear from them a year later that they've met somebody, they've doubled their income, their body looks great, they feel great, they've built this whole new version of themselves. And to thank me. Now, my egoic side would love to take credit for that, but this is not me. This is a calling sent to me by God. And I don't mean God came down and told me to make a YouTube channel. Not like that. It's just the way life happened for me to put me in a position to experience everything I have, which is I've had an adventurous life, to say the least. Adventurous is putting it lightly. Just full of different experiences, highs, lows, and everything in between. The lowest of the lows, the highest of highs. And every area, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, socially, yeah. And I'm just the type of person that's paid close attention and kept track of the things and how they unfolded and how things evolved and what produced the results that I wanted. What did I keep doing repeatedly that didn't work or set me back even further? And through the years, I've had 48 years now of experience to formulate a path, a program, a set of ideals and principles that suit me every day of my life in every area. And I thank God for that opportunity. And I thank God for the opportunity to be able to work with young men, middle-aged, older men. I don't care how old you are. If you're looking to put yourself off on a different path, that's all I need. That's my canvas. You understand? Closed mouth and an open mind. Work ethic. Strong work ethic. And that's it. There's nothing, you can't be stopped at that point. So anyway, also we have part 3 of Lysander coming on. It was supposed to be 2 parts, but I'm telling you, that story just gets more and more interesting. I know the story. I've been knowing the guy for years. Y'all are going to love it and what this guy has achieved. We don't see eye to eye directly on everything, but the fact is he's a man of principle and he's a man of action. He stands by his word and he practices what he preaches. He's an authentic man. And I have a soft spot for veterans. I really do. I appreciate the men who go on and put their lives on the line for this country, for what we have. I know it's a jacked up mess right now, but it's because of these guys who have gone and served where we didn't or couldn't, that enabled us to live the way we live now. And I'll always be indebted. My grandfather was dear to me. He was a World War II veteran. My father was a Vietnam veteran. And yeah, so I hold a soft spot for the men who go serve this country and lay it on the line, especially having been through what he's been through. And the men who serve every day, the men serving now. And I'm the same way with firemen, police, first responders, medical responders. I mean, these are the people who are so undervalued and work these seemingly thankless jobs and get shit on by politicians and society every day. But instead, they'll put some woman-beaten, drug-addicted professional athlete on front of a magazine and pay him millions of dollars to be role models for children and give this guy credit and recognition. Narcissistic, self-absorbed pro athlete who plays victim. That'll never make sense to me. And if you wear another man's jersey, wear another man's name on your back, don't come to this channel. I don't even understand that thinking. You can go like some random guy who plays some kind of sport, a kid sport for a living, and then you idolize him so much you're going to purchase an item of clothing with his name on it and put it on your body. Come on, have some self-respect. Why don't you get a shirt with your name on it and wear it? Represent yourself. Lysander was coming back. Anyway, tonight's stream, it's not going to be a long one. I don't have a whole bunch to go on here tonight. I'm actually a little tired, to be honest with you. And I'm hungry. I've had a long week and a busy day. It's so damn hot out here right now. But that's good. I'm not complaining, because if I'm tired, that means I was productive, and I was very productive. As I like to be every day. That's just one of my things, to be productive. And what I was going to address is last week during Lysander's and I stream, we had a brief Q&A. And the Q&A was really designed, that little bit of time was for him to answer questions about his story or his point of view or opinion on anything that, somebody in the stream, one of the viewers had to ask. And one of his guys, this guy, Ricardo, asked me a question, a very good question at that. And it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't ready, and that's my fault. I should always be ready, especially when I'm entering the stream. Be ready for anything. And it was a deep, profound question, and I'm going to paraphrase here. It was something along the lines of my contribution to the space and like my belief in what do I offer men. And that was a great question. And so I'm going to answer that here. And what I offer is to help you guys, anybody that comes along that's looking for that substantial long-term change in their lives, and to really uncover and present outwardly the best possible men that they can be, I guess the version of themselves. I don't really like that term, the best possible version. You are who you are. You just may be covered in layers of who you're not. So the short answer to that is to lead men into unlocking their full potential and guiding that process to help you do it, not for me to do it. I'm just here to show you the way. You're here to do the work. Listen and do the work. And that's it in a nutshell. How it starts, typically, it starts after a heartbreak. The guy's been broken up with. That's how 99% of clients that I've coached over the years have come to me in a state of grieving. Great question. Absolutely not, Chevy. Nobody should trust. You cannot go to a woman to improve as a man. You can't take a woman's word. That would be like a woman coming to me and asking me for advice for when she's at a certain stage in her pregnancy And what could she do to remedy that? I have no fucking idea. I'll never be pregnant. I don't know what it's like to be pregnant, and I never will. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. Women and men are built differently. See, what a woman will do often, not often, every single time, they will point you in the direction of the desired outcome that they may be looking for or seeking in that moment according to how they feel. They're not going to tell you the truth. Not because they lie intentionally, but like they have these women dating coaches on YouTube. This one lady says, if say you've been broken up with and your ex calls you 3-4 weeks later, and she opens up with, like, you haven't spoken to this woman in weeks, and she opens the text line with, "Hey," or "Hey, what was the name of that restaurant we ate at that time?" Or "Such and such a movie. I know you like this movie. Such and such a movie's on. You remember when we watched that?" She tells them to ignore that, and I'm like, "What? Why?" This is if you're looking to rekindle with your ex. Why in a world would you ignore her text? And her philosophy is to, unless they say something meaningful. Now, you see, that's not going to work for a guy. That is not going to work for a man. If you ignore a woman who's reaching out, women cannot tolerate rejection like men. That's why I say, as a man, learn to just take rejection as a part of everyday life. You got to trudge right through that shit. When you get a no, it's just a no. It's just another word. You move on to the next endeavor. If you get rejected by a chick, on to the next chick. You'll get a yes. But you got to get through the no's. And as men, we can't afford to lose step. You can't lose your balance and lose composure when you're rejected, whether it's a job, business proposal, getting a woman's number, like anything. You can't afford to wallow in that rejection and have it affect you moving forward. It just means you got to do something different and do it better. So her advice is to ignore them till they say something substantial. I guarantee you, if a woman reaches out to you with a hey and you ignore her, chances are you're not going to hear from her again. Maybe once more, maybe. But the way, especially women, the way women approach after breaking up and having been in the dominant position at the beginning of the breakup, which is to dump her, they're not going to come back and say, hey. Your first text message is not going to be, look, I've had time to think about things and I regret what I did. I made a really big mistake. I understand if you don't want to, but could you find it in your heart to talk? I have a lot to say. You're not getting that. You're just not. Once, 1 out of 10,000, maybe, are you going to see that text come across your screen. So, and that's just what women do, is they'll come sneak in from a sneaky angle. Hey, that's women's famous words to get attention. Hey. Or they'll tell you, come with some sideways shit. Hey, did I leave my toothbrush over there? Or, hey, remember that shirt I left? You still have it? They're just trying to get your attention. They're just poking, they're prodding, they're probing, see where you're at, see if you'll even answer. And it's up to you. Now, I'm not saying you immediately answer that text and then say, oh, I'm so glad you called. I missed you so much. Where have you been? Why did you break up with me? Let's talk. I can't wait to. That's a problem. You don't want to do that. But you can mirror her and let her warm back up. But that initial text they give you, it's called an indirect direct approach. They're indirectly, the subject is directly coming to you. Directly texting, but indirectly as to why. Indirectly communicating, but as to why what they're communicating. So that's a terrible idea. It's well known. Like a woman has nothing to offer you except femininity. And if she's your romance partner, sex, children, cooperation, tenderness, encouragement, and honesty and loyalty. You don't go seeking advice from how to be a man about a woman. I tell men, don't go see women therapists, don't go to women doctors, don't use women lawyers. Some people do, they swear by them. Bad idea. I don't know. Maybe we could revisit that. That's up for discussion. Because sometimes women lawyers have more power in court, depending on the atmosphere. When it comes to man, especially not dating, a woman's experience in dating is a lot different than a man's experience. You got to understand that. They cannot even, women lack the capacity to relate, to have deep empathy, which means to essentially put yourself in their shoes. They can't possibly conceive. If a woman got rejected as often as a man gets rejected throughout his life, they would be in a mental institution. They would have serious mental illness. They would have mental struggles. What attracts women is different than what attracts a man. What's attractive to them? B. Rabs, good to have you, brother. Good to see you back. Yeah, they claim to give them tricks and advice on how to attract. No, you shouldn't trust them. And look, attraction is not a trick. Attraction is not a trick. Attraction is an inside job. And this is what I try to tell people. Women are going to have different standards for different men. I've been in a position where first date, I don't know your last name, and we fucked. Whereas another guy who could be equally attractive or have a lot of the similarities, but she's going to make that guy wait a few weeks or a couple of days. It's just something, so they handle each situation and each man differently. A lot of women keep different men in their lives for different reasons. One for attention, one for sex, one for dinner, one for hanging out. Like, if you think I'm lying, get to know a young chick. Get close with her. Get her to where she trusts and feels secure with you. She'll tell you everything you need to know. Look through her phone. So my point being, it's even the most attractive, famous men cannot compete in the sexual marketplace like a regular average 5 walking around in society. A woman walking around as a 6 she just get dick on a whim. She has sexual choice across the board. Any time of day and night, any day of the week, any situation, she can secure a sexual partner. It's not like that for men now. You can be good, you can be attractive, well-rounded, fit, physically attractive, have money, have all the right qualities, and you're still not going to be able to compete with that 6. You just will not be able to, and that's nature. That's how it is. That's why women are viewed as sluts or hoes if they sleep around a lot, and men are viewed as, players and get pats on the back and get attaboys for that. Because a man who can have sexual choice and options like a woman, that's an accomplishment. A woman who can go get fucked by a bunch of dudes is not. It comes too easy. Just like, our whole lives are a different process. Our whole lives are a total different path and a process for women than it is a man. As a man, you're born, and then you have to prove yourself to get that man card. You've got to improve yourself constantly, growing into a man to become a man, to become a successful man. All a woman has to do is not mess it up. She's born with value, inherent value. She comes out of the womb valuable, cherished, a flower. Valuable. All she has to do is maintain it and not mess it up along the way. Tell you what, You can have a guy who's a superstar millionaire. And if he finds he's where he goes and stops and eats a restaurant, find this cute little waitress that just really knocks her socks off. He will take her, pull her out of being a waitress, marry that woman, give her kids, give her family. She'll never have to work again and live in the lap of luxury. No millionaire woman would ever do that for some cashier. No woman would ever do that. She wouldn't even look your way. She won't even make eye contact when you serve her bread, let alone think about giving you the cheeks and then falling in love with you and marrying you and considering you as a serious long-term option. Just won't happen. So there's a lot of different reasons, but there's no way a man should ever seek a woman for dating advice. That is, no, it's way off. Happy to be here, Proud Masculine. Happy to have you, B-Rabs. I think men have advantage later in life compared to women. That depends. You have the potential for that. What you see is over time, if you keep yourself up, eating right, sleeping right, not destroying your body with junk food and drugs and alcohol and bad habits and shit food, and you live in a good, honest, quality life and living purposefully under God, by God's direction, you're going to age gracefully. Matter of fact, you're going to get hotter as you get older as a man. Through our experience and our knowledge and wisdom makes us inherently more sexy. It generates sex appeal. I get it all the time. You can still be, good looking and sexy while you're young and coming of age and turning into a man. Women age differently. Our bodies are biologically set on different clocks. Women hit a point where they start to decline. Now, men do decline physically as we get older. Our hormones go a little nuts, but that's why if you take care of your vessel, you take care of your mind, and you put yourself in a good position, clean living, good people, low stress, you're going to have stress. There's nothing you can do about that. But cut out unnecessary stress. Take stress that like work stress and money stress and career stress. You're going to have that if you're doing it right. If you're out there hustling, you're going to be stressed. But dramatic women and backstabbing friends, you don't need that stress. Shitty, toxic environments, avoid that. And if you take care of your body will take care of you. You'll grow into an attractive man. You'll be able to keep a physique well into your 60s. And that's attractive. That says a lot. That communicates a lot about who you are as a man. And one of the biggest things it communicates is discipline. And that is an attractive trait. That's attractive to both men and women, a disciplined man. You instill trust, self-respect, self-love. It clearly shows you know what you're doing. You have the ability to do it, and you're disciplined and consistent enough to keep it up, especially as you get older. The better you look, the more you're admired for it. And it's not easy, but that's not supposed to be easy. That's the whole point. If women just take care of themselves, don't go get all fucked out in their 20s, keep a nice physique, stay in shape, be polite, be demure, feminine, she's got nothing to worry about. Literally nothing to worry about. I don't need a boss bitch. No man in his right mind, no masculine man setting forward in life to achieve things wants a boss bitch. Whatever they call themselves. That is the most unattractive thing of it. I'm a boss bitch. Well, that does not sit well in my ears. It's cringy. I've dealt with these women. They're no fun. They're loud. They're obnoxious. Like they try to be like, that reminds me of a man. I don't want to date a man. I certainly don't want some masculine ass woman. Always drinking and lying, screaming and acting like a damn fool. In her 30s and shit, man, get out of here. Always trying to challenge you to do shit. And crazy. That's not attractive to me at all. And it's not. And that's the type of women that'll bring drama and chaos into your life. See, because what women don't understand, some of the nuances of being a man, like men are careful. And you got these loud ass men who talk shit. That's just them bitches, in my opinion. The loud ass, boisterous men who, what's up? You got a problem? You know, these guys. The loudest one in the room is usually the weakest one in the room. The guy who can't control his emotions. Walks all puffed up all the time thinking he's a hard motherfucker. But the men in society, you know, you got the keyboard warriors, people who put the fake names and no picture or put some avatar and they'll talk shit over the internet. But in person, I am polite and respectful. That's who I am. That's how I am. I'm polite and respectful to everyone. Do I have moods? Yes, I get a mood sometimes. But that's, I never cross the line because I know the potential of crossing the line and what that could lead to with another man. So I'm really careful about my next move if things get heated or seem like there's some tension in a situation. Very careful. Women are not. Women are loud because they're not used to having a consequence for that. Now I'm starting to see a trend in these videos where women are hitting men and they get knocked the fuck out right away by big dudes and stuff. Because that's how women think, that it's okay to go hands on somebody or okay to get in somebody's face and really try to hurt their feelings or wound their pride. But the truth is, for a man, you don't know who you're messing with. You never know. You don't know what somebody's going through. That motherfucker might want to kill you over some dumb shit being said because you just caught him at the wrong time. He could have just lost his mother or had just gotten a divorce and lost everything. This dude might not even have the will to live. You get in a bad mood because he pulled up in your parking spot. And you get out, motherfucker, and get your ass shot. We know that, as you know, especially as you mature, and if you've seen a lot of violence growing up and experienced that, you know what that really looks like. So you're very careful what your next move is. I personally live by the code of I'm going to treat everybody as good as I can. Well, if I'm in a bad mood, I pretty much just don't pay attention to people. I just ignore. But I'm friendly. I'm outgoing. Hold the door for people. Thank you, please. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. What's wrong with that? Imagine if everybody did that. How much more pleasant a day out would be. And my kindness, I'm kind and soft because soft-hearted. I'm not soft. I'm kind and soft-hearted because of what I've been through and what I've seen. I don't want to go there. There's no reason for that. But women aren't used to that. They don't suffer consequences like men. They're very, very, especially these days, entitled. Oh, entitled. See, what they want is all the privileges of top tier men. They say they want men get to do patriarchy and all this shit. You don't see women picketing the lines of ditch diggers. You don't hire enough women to dig ditches. And, you know, be parish workers where they got to go clean out sewage pipes and shit like that. You don't see too many picket lines for not enough women plumbers or roofers, right? You don't see that. But so what they essentially want is all the privilege and perks of a top tier man with none of the responsibility or the accountability. When you're that high up, there's a lot of weight on your shoulders. In order to have a successful, meaningful life that's full of privilege, unless you're born into it, because that happens, but that happens to both sexes, you're dealing with a lot and you're responsible for a lot. And when the shit falls down and the shit hits the fan, you're the one that's got to own it. no matter what. They're looking at you to want to know why this isn't working. Even if somebody else messed up on your watch, it's your fault. That's just part of being a strong leader. And that's not what women want. They want the paycheck without doing the work. And you just say that's not how it works. And people are starting to wake up and see that. The problem that media teaches women to be impolite these days. I think they portray it like it's force-fed more so than they teach. Maybe that's what you mean by teach. But it's just not to be impolite. It's like that question when they ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? And she says, I am the table. Like, what kind of fucking answer is that? That's the mentality. I am the table, bitch. Stupid. Yeah, I agree. But they got enough simps out there, and what they've done to these men these days, they got enough men out there who are that fucking low that support these women and say, ooh, that's sexy. I like a feisty. I don't like a feisty woman. I don't like combative. I like my girl with attitude. Then keep her. I don't want nothing to do with that shit. My outlook is I got to go out there and battle every day. I got to go out there and get what's mine. I got to compete. I got to talk. I got to work. And I don't mind doing any of that. But I'm not coming home and having to battle the fucking woman I want to spend the rest of my life with or the woman I'm dating. Like, what? No. I want to come home and relax and enjoy. My home is my sanctuary. It's where I come to gain peace and joy and love. I don't want to come home and have to do more fucking work with this woman. I don't even know what the hell she's talking about most of the time. That's ridiculous. Joe, what advice would you give a young man that wants to get married? That's a tough one. I support marriage. I really do. I support family. I love the idea of family. I have a family. I have a son. I have an ex-wife. Now I have a significant other, and I love it. But here's the thing. I would suggest spend your 20s doing something you love. Get a job, whatever you have to do to make bills. There's enough work out there where you can live comfortably while building something that's going to be, it can start out as a side thing that's going to sustain you long term. Take your 20s, get your body right, learn to build multiple streams of income, learn basic investing, whether it's stock market, crypto, whatever, just the basics, just enough to where you're fluent in the language of investing and have a general idea. So your money, your body, your mind, read, educate yourself, read books. Pick a book, read it. When you finish, pick another one. Not like Harry Potter, but something related to that's going to contribute to what you like. If you want to learn about investing, go buy a Warren Buffett book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read these things that support your mission. And so what this amounts to is finding purpose. And you will find your purpose as you experience more things and you start to learn more about yourself. Put yourself out there to take risks and have adventure. Build your body, build your mind. Start putting yourself in a place where by the time you're 30, you have minimum 6 months comfortably of income. You should be able to do that in 2 years if you're doing it right. You should be able to have 6 months of cushion in case if anything falls out or you have an emergency, you don't have anything to worry about. That takes a load of stress off when you have that backup. You have that cushion. But by the time you're 30, you'll have an established career. You'll have established something, learning about investments. So you already have your money making money by the time you're 30. You have multiple streams of income. You know about investing. You got a business. your own business, or you're working for something lucrative, because not everybody's suited to own a business, and that's okay. But put yourself in a position to be making six figures. And it's not hard to attain, as hard as people think. If you look in the right places and asking the right questions and doing the right things, it comes fairly easy. And this is me setting a conservative bar. This is a low bar by the time you're 30. And while you're doing this and you get your body right, you're learning good life habits. Practice these things every day, keeping a clean house, making your bed, eating well, what you're putting into your body, what you put into your ears, what you put into your eyes, your diet, spiritually. Build these things through your 20s. Learn, make the mistakes in your 20s. Make them early. Take the risks. Go hard. And then, because you learn so much from your mistakes, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. And that's what people are so scared of failing. Like, fuck that. I've learned more from any failure than I have from my successes. The lessons are always in the looking back. Now, what you can do along this process is hire a mentor, coach, etc., to help you facilitate these processes and streamline it. Kind of take you through the jungle of whatever endeavor you're pursuing. There are people out there that are ahead of you in the game and that'll be happy to work with a strong, ambitious, driven young man to show them the way. So I'm getting to the answer, DT, about the marriage. So you've done all these things. Date. Go experience women's true nature. Inform yourself of what women really are. And then what's important before you get married is that you have a well-established foundation of who you are. Because when the time comes and you want to get married, you have to be able to successfully lead a woman. And that means you got to be emotionally centered, emotionally mature, mentally mature. You're spiritually grounded, financially well off, at least in a good place, or getting there. Because when you invite a woman into your life, she's either going to be an asset or a liability. And what you have to do through the dating is learn who you are and what you want and how you want it. And through the dating process is how you learn about the things that are just absolutely non-negotiables about what you would tolerate in a woman, especially long term. So before you get married, date at least a year. And this is after you've dated, you've learned things, you've learned how to set boundaries, you have a very well-established life routine and a path forward. And you've also learned women's true behavior and what they respond to. And be able to do that consistently. Because, as I say to men often, do you want to get laid? That's the easiest part of dating. I'm telling you from experience, getting laid is nothing. That's like shooting fish in a barrel. Trying to keep a long-term relationship where you're leading, the sex stays frequent, you're still courting and dating, because you can't treat a marriage like, oh, got her, now I can go sit on the sofa and get fat and waste away, and that's it. She's going to spit out my babies, and I'm going to watch football and not do anything. It won't work. It'll fail, I guarantee. Well, she'll be cheating on you the whole time. But so you got to have the discipline and the foundation of years of repetitions of you doing these things to keep yourself in the top leader position. And through that experience, through your 20s and all these things I'm telling you, you'll learn to lead yourself. And that's where the ability to lead a family and lead your woman is. So, and then you're going to see, there's values, there's core beliefs. history of mental illness, like stuff like that. I mean, you want a woman who's essentially you're going to get married to have a family and raise kids. Ideally, you'd want to get married to spend the rest of your life with this person, married unto God. And so you want to make sure this is somebody you enjoy spending time with and really genuinely enjoy being with when you're not having sex. Somebody you genuinely enjoy their company, the conversation. Do y'all have the same beliefs in raising children? Do you have the same beliefs about money? Is she willing to follow your lead? Or is she constantly trying to jockey for control over everything? Does she support you no matter what? Like your ride or die type. So that's just some things. We could do a whole show about that, but great question. I hope I answered it for you. I'm gonna blow through these and we gotta get off. What the hell is that? In your opinion, why men are unhappy in a marriage? I'm saying that because I hear it almost coworkers hinting on their unhappy marriage because they don't know how to lead a marriage. Simple as that. They don't know they don't know women. They don't understand. Looks like I'm getting a bad connection here. I broke up with my girlfriend 2 years ago and still think about it. What do I do? You should not be thinking about somebody. It's not abnormal to think about it, but I mean, if you still have strong emotions, there's some work you need to do, Rabs. You need consultation. We'll start working on that. I can't answer that in this. Like, unfortunately, we don't have time, and that's a process. And if you're thinking about it, so what? I still think about some exes sometimes. It's not a big deal. It's just as you dwelling and having some strong emotions about it. Is there anything you wish you would have done different in your previous relationship that you learned from? Yes, but I can't get into the details of that right now. Of course. I'll look day of my life and learn from something. Let me think of something quick. Not getting, when I'm stressed out, still being able to keep my composure and taking shit tests as they are. Because there have been a few times where I was just starting my business and things were getting rocky and tough for me. Like I was my resistance was down. And look, you can't be at 1,000% on your A+ pimp game 24/7, 365. And that's another thing. Find somebody who you don't have to be like that with constantly. But when women start to see you slide a little bit, they're going to test the fuck out of you. And that's just what they do. They don't do it because they're mean or because they're evil or narcissists, like everybody likes to say nowadays. They're just women. That's what they do. That's what their job, to poke you a little bit, see what the fuck you made of. Are you going to be able to keep this shit together or what? So it would be to be very well aware of where I am mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and stay composed when I get the little shit tests instead of turning into angry man and reacting. That's definitely one thing I would do, is have that shit under wraps. And that just comes from time and work. Yeah. We can get into more of the stuff more in depth. On another show, we're not going to be able to here. Tonight, we're running out of time. Matter of fact, I'm a little past the way I wanted to be. Yeah, I hear it all the time. It's because men, they just do whatever they're told with society. They're usually grown up in a dysfunctional family themselves. They don't know any better, so they follow the status quo. Lo and behold, doesn't fucking work. You have an unhappy marriage. You put up with too much shit. You don't stand up for yourself. You say yes to too much. You don't say no enough, and you apologize for shit you shouldn't apologize for. And this is another thing I want to go on about DT's question about a man who wants advice to get married. Make sure she understands sex. Sex is not something you give her, she gives you. It's a shared experience, something you give each other. And if you find somebody who try to use the pussy as a tool on you, you get rid of her ass immediately. That's pure manipulation. That's pure fucking manipulation. and get with somebody who understands the deal of sex and what that means for a man and what that means for be times when you want it and she does it and she wants it and you don't. And that's understand if you want to be exclusive, it's just you and me. When it's time for sex, it's time for sex. I mean, I don't know. Some things you just got to be strong and not compromise. Good answer. Same here, man. Well, look, guys, I'm going to wrap it up right now. Thank y'all, everybody, for coming back in again, of course. I love these live streams, and I'm starting to look forward to them more and more. I have an extremely early morning. I haven't eaten yet. I'm starving, and I'm tired. I had a long day, and it is hot in Louisiana. And always great to see y'all. Henry, DT, Chevy. We got Venator, B-Rabs back in the house. I'd love to see you here, man. And we got some good shows coming up in the next few weeks. I think I'm just going to do this again next week, another show like this. Maybe I'll open it up for a little more time. And so if you're coming on, maybe have some questions prepared. We can jump into the questions right away and be spared my long riffs and lectures. Anyway, great one. Thank you. Of course. And I'll see y'all. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, yes, DT, likewise, brother. Thank you so much for your help. She was like, oh yeah, Instagram at Proud Masculine. Go follow me on TikTok, Proud Masculine. Show me some support. Let's get that algorithm up. You know, the comments, the likes, everything helps. I want to push this channel, and I need y'all's help to do that. And something you can do for free is like, comment, subscribe. It costs nothing, but it means a lot. So with that, we'll close it up, and I'll see y'all. I'm out.